Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in into our YouTube channel. And welcome to the fourth wave of the free webinar series brought to us by Asia Pacific Association of Educators Training Institute. I'm Chris J. Gayda, and I'm going to talk about how to help your students develop growth mindset during the pandemic. And most of the content of my talk are taken from the website Teach Taught. So for further readings, you can refer to this website. Now, the growth mindset is actually popularized by a psychologist and an author, Dr. Carol S. Dweck. And according to her, there are two types of mindset. The first one is fixed mindset, where people believe that their talents and abilities are simply fixed and they have a certain amount, and that's that. So, this type of mindset, we students are believed or people believe that their capabilities has limits and that they cannot go farther beyond that limit. However, the second one is growth mindset. So it is where people think of talents and abilities as things they can develop, as potentials that come to fruition through effort, practice, and instruction. So here we believe that we can still develop the talent that is gifted to us by God. So let us say, for example, if we know how to draw stick figures, so we believe that through practice we can still improve it and basically later on draw a proper drawing. So these are the two mindsets that are uh, identified by Carol S. Dweck, according to, or that is a result from her study. Now, our students also fall into these two types of mindset, but our students is mostly fixed because, especially during this time of pandemic, our students are easily frustrated, easily give up because of the challenge the pandemic has brought them. So through this talk, I hope that we can assist or we can help our students foster a growth mindset and somehow help them develop as a stronger and confident individual. So the question now is, what is the most desirable mindset? So according to the research, growth mindset is the most desirable one. And how do we achieve growth mindset? It is through practice. So it is believed that the brain has the capacity to change and even reorganize itself when people put serious labor into developing a set of skills. So basically, by this scientific statement, we know that our brain can actually be changed, our thinking can actually change. So therefore, our mindset can also be changed because our mindset is influenced by our beliefs. So since beliefs can be changed, then our mindset can also be changed. Now, improving one's skills is, of course, dependent on practice, our effort put into practice into developing such skills or such capabilities. Um, that is why growth mindset is most desirable than the fixed mindset. Since a fixed mindset kasi, we just stop at a certain point believing that we can't do anything more. Now, it is undeniable that this pandemic has brought not just our students, but also everyone, frustrations, things that we would want to do, but then we cannot do because there are some ban in traveling. We cannot go to the restaurant that we usually go. We cannot do or visit the mall and etc. So we are frustrated. Now, in the conduct of the classes, especially online, frustrations will also come, especially when they encounter problems in the internet connection, submissions of their requirements, and etc. Um, Brownout. So these are things that could influence or could contribute to their frustrations. Another one is panic. Of course, I'm going to talk about the students. Our students will panic when there is no internet connection or electricity, how they will be able to submit the requirements online, right? Especially if there is a schedule that has been set by the teacher. Now, speaking of when they're doing the module, so there will be panic, especially um, when there is delay of the delivery sa kanilang mga modules. Of course, by this one, it could give so much stress. So sa teacher side, malaki, yung stress na ibinibigay niya is connection sa internet. Yun bang paliulit na problem na maaaring lumabas. And then of course, stress sa students because let us face the reality na uh, mas thorough at saka mas maganda yung communication process when we conduct classes face to face, right? So we give feedback immediately, promptly when they have some misconceptions. So yung mga students natin, they will also feel stressed because wala silang mapagtanungan or kung magtanong man sila, like it will take some minutes before we can address their questions and clarifications. So let us imagine na gumagawa siya ng assignment or gumagawa siya ng activity that is needed na i-submit or nag-accomplish sila ng activity but then there are some clarifications kailangan pa nilang i-kontakin ka. So, what if you are in a meeting or an emergency situation? So, that could provide stress to them. So, compared to the face-to-face, pag may clarification sila, agad mo na sasagot. And ultimately, it could cause depression. So, these things, of course, cost somehow can contribute to depression of our students. So dito nawawala na ng gana, ayaw ng mag-continue the into studying and etc. So this pandemic has taught us a lot of lessons and of course opened our eyes into so many things. Um, Now, isa sa mga way na pwede na labanan ang pandemic personally is of course to develop the growth mindset, not just sa atin as teachers, but also to our students. Now, I have indicated here several strategies on how to support our students develop this type of mindset. But first, um, would like to emphasize the specific mindset that we must have during this pandemic. It is the transformation of the phrase "I can't do this" to "I can't do it yet." So there is the power of "yet" here. So let us emphasize this one into the next slide. So first, according to Jackie Gerstein, we can help our students develop growth mindset by helping them focus on I can't do this yet. Okay? So there's a word yet. Now, why is that so? So the use of yet was drawn from Carol Dweck's work with growth mindset. According to Carol S. Dweck, just the words yet or not yet were give or were findings give kids greater confidence. It also gives them a path into the future that creates greater persistence, and we can actually change students' mindset. So there is a significant difference talaga pag sinabi ng student na I can't do this, meaning it stops, it's there. That's a fixed mindset. It means that your capability or ability is limited into doing things, so we cannot do farther than that. So it's a fixed mindset. So when your student do that, you can help them improve. You can help foster their confidence by telling them you add the word yet. So the power of yet gives us a hope na matatapos natin siya slowly but surely, right? So it gives us confidence. It gives there the path into the future that create greater persistence because there is yet, meaning there is a goal to be achieved. So it will give them purpose. So they will have to persevere. So later on, we will discover that our students will, during this pandemic, na yung hindi nila muna nagawa na module, for example, nagawa na nila ngayon kasi na-change natin yung perception nila with regards into doing the certain activities. So especially pag gumagawa sila ng mga uh, math problems or mga analytical problems. So when they do this, oh, hindi ko to hindi ko to magagawa. So pag tinanong nyo, when you do your monitoring or follow up, pag tinanong nyo, oh, are you done with this and that? Sabi hindi namin magawa, ma'am, kasi mahirap ganito ganito. So you can say na, oh, hindi nyo pa nagagawa o hindi nyo pa nagawa pero magagawa. So when just giving that word, so it will give them a sense of security or a feeling na magagawa pala namin to kasi hindi pa namin nagawa, hindi magagawa, right? So they can do this. So they can do this with your, of course, assistance and help. So probably they will consult you and ask you for several clarifications. So help learners focus on I can't do this yet. Second is teach learners strategies for dealing with frustration. So accordingly, helping learners deal with frustrations is a core skill related to other social emotional development and helps students with being successful with the given tasks. So according to Dr. Dale Stewart, an author and a psychologist also, the basic approach to helping a student deal with frustration feelings is, first, to help them build the capability to observe themselves while they are in the midst of experiencing the feeling. Second, to help them form a story or narrative about their experience of the feeling and the situation, and then to help them make conscious choices about their behavior and the way they express their feelings. So, um, helping them recognize or deal with frustration basically gives these three positive impacts or influences to their lives. So, ang pinakagusto ko talaga dito is you help them make conscious choices about their behavior and the ways they express their feelings. So here are some sample feedback that you could give, especially when our students are struggling despite their strong effort. So we all know that when we struggle and then we did not achieve our goal despite our effort na ibinigay, so it gives us frustration. So these are the sample feedback that you can give them. So like you can say, okay, so you didn't do as well as you wanted. So let us look at this as an opportunity to learn and etc. So you can also tell them, what did you do to prepare for this? So you are not there or here yet. So these are the sample feedbacks that we can give, especially when our students contact us and say, ma'am, it's very difficult to answer number 2. I can't do it. I can't submit it. Or, oh, the requirement is very difficult. I can't submit it. So you can choose among these feedbacks for you to give to your students. Another is, of course, I love this one, encourage learners to ask for help from others or from their peers. So eventually, we all reach a point where we cannot figure out a solution. So this can be a good time to ask for help. So you can actually encourage your students. For me, I always encourage my students to seek help, seek clarifications if there are some things that they don't understand. And asking help from others fosters bond and friendship, right? So we cannot live alone. And it is important to make our students understand that in order to succeed, they need someone. And collaboration is an important skill in today's age. So the current society right now does not promote individualism, but a collaboration, a collaborative work. So here are some sample feedbacks that you can give, or you can, yeah, you can give to your students when they struggle and need help with strategies. So you can say, let's think about how to improve, if etc. etc. So let me add new information to help you solve this. Hindi natin sabihin na, ba't hindi mo nagawa, di ba? Matagal na yung ibinigay sa inyo, ba't hindi nyo pa rin nagawa? So, it basically kills the confidence of the student. So, it basically would say, kasi nga, bobo ako, kaya hindi ko to nagawa, or hindi ko agad naintindihan, kaya hindi ko nagawa. So, those things actually are tantamount to saying that they can't do better, right? They can't do better than what they are doing right now. So you can say, let's do one together out loud, or let's practice so we can move it from our short term to our long term memory, or let's practice so that we can solve this simple problem, and you can solve it on your own later on, etc. So these are just sample feedback. So third is emphasize the process of learning rather than its product. Now, I am so also guilty sa bagay na to, kasi sometimes gusto natin madaliin lahat ng bagay kasi nga may hinahabol tayong deadline. Pinofocus natin yung product. When we say product, these are the scores, these are the outputs submitted to us by the students. But then we forgot that the most important thing here is the process of learning, the process how they do it and how they understood the topics na binigay natin. So I'm guilty of this with this case, in this case. So school curriculum often focuses on the what's of learning. So these are the products. So anong expectations sa kanila. And rather than the hows of learning. So this is the processes of how the learning process is done or acquired. So when the focus changes to the process of learning, learners are less likely to feel the pressure to create quality products. So when we encourage them, or when we made them understand that the process, basically the in between of the time they started and the time they submitted the product is more important, gagawin nila kasi, they are going to take good care of the time in between. They are going to produce exceptional products or outputs, assignments, papers or researches, because we emphasize ng importante is yung process. So they are going to take good care of that time. They are going to make the best out of it. So hindi nila ma-feel yung pressure. But of course, let us not forget to orient them na may time, may deadline tayo na hinahabol. So since may deadline tayo na hinahabol, still there is a contribution or a factor that could add to pressure, but then it's not too much focused into that deadline, right? So it's more on how yung students mapifeel nila na it's more on how they are going to achieve the deadline, or paano ba ma-produce yung perfect or the best output on the deadline. So the biggest step an educator can take to implement a process-oriented learning environment is to let go of expectations about what a product should be. So minsan kasi we already have something in mind na pag binigay ng bata is iba, we kind of feel disappointed, right? So we have to let go of that. We have to expect the unexpected from our students. We don't, though we set a standard, kasi it also contributes sa mga bata na maging the best as they can be. But then, of course, we have to be flexible on that. Expectations can and should be around learning processes such as following through the task completion, finding help when needed, trying new things, taking risks, creating and innovating, tolerating frustration, and attempting alternative routes when one route isn't working. Di ba nga sa mathematics, there is many ways to kill a cat. It's not just one way. So when we are trying to solve a problem, there's a lot of ways to solve it, right? So hindi lang isa yung solution. But then sometimes kasi yung teachers hinihingi yung paano yung solve, paano sinolve. Yeah, it's a good way because of course we have to teach our students on how to follow a certain process into achieving a certain answer. But let us not forget the fact that our students can also be creative. So but then let's accept that. But then of course, kailangan din natin i-check kung tama ba yung na-process. So if they tried a different process and you feel that there's a need na bigyan siya ng feedback, then you have to talk to your student. All right? So that way your student will learn. So here are the sample feedbacks na pwede nating ibigay sa kanila when they are making progress. So I can see a difference in this work compared to blank. You have really grown into this, etc. So hey, you're working on this for a while and you didn't quit, and that's a good thing, right? We have to encourage our students to persevere, not give up immediately, because we need that's basically our future, or the future in of this country depends on them. So kung they give up immediately, so paano ng Pilipinas, right? So your hard work is clearly evident in your assignment. So these are the simple feedback that could actually give them a boost in their confidence and self-fulfillment. And of course, let us avoid the urge to rescue them. So, I'm very, very guilty here kasi nga minsan we felt na they need rescuing. But as much as possible, we have to avoid it because they won't learn, right? They won't learn it. Hindi sila matututo. So, educators by nature are helpers. So, we are it's in nature sa atin eh. So when we see they are in need of help, we immediately come to their rescue. We help them. So kunwari pag nahirapan sa isang subject, what we do, okay, we gather them around and then we reteach the topic. It's actually a good one, good dedication by the teacher, but let us know when, all right, when to rescue them. Our tendency is for them to rescue, our tendency is to rescue learners from the stress and frustration of reaching seemingly unsurmountable challenges. So, kasi nga, baka ireklamo tayo na we give them so much work and then magbibigay ng stress. So, di ba like, and then, so, sometimes yung ginagawa natin, we assist them na lang to finish a certain assignment or task. However, let us take note that by doing it, we are taking away learning opportunities, the possibility of the learner achieving success on his or her own way. So that's why we have to really know the boundary. We have to really know when is the right time to help, when is the right time to assist them, because it's very dangerous when all the time we are there to help them. So, because we are going to take away the learning opportunities, specifically the learning process. So, yung learning process parang naging shortcut pag we immediately come in and offer our help to the students. And of course, let us not forget, huwag tayong maging madamot sa praising. So, praise students' little and simple achievements. So, this is coming from Donna Wilson and Marcos Conyers. So praise students when they use strategies that include being metacognitive, so meaning very analytical, very creative, asking good questions during a synchronous classes, or when they contact you and they have clarifications on a certain topic. So appreciate them. Appreciate, oh, thank you for asking this question. Thank you, etc. Asking help when they need help, I always appreciate honesty that they cannot do it. So they have to seek for help and assistance or clarifications. And persisting through difficulties, And of course, investing the necessary effort to succeed. Again, we emphasize the learning process here. So there should be, we have to appreciate the effort that is invested by the students. And I think this is the last one. I know, sorry, before the last one. So these are the simple feedback that we can give when appreciating their achievements. It's great that you have that. Now we need to find something a bit more challenging so you can grow. So it's kind of challenging, right? It's not yung dating niya hindi commanding but rather challenging the student to be better and more. So I don't want you to be bored because you're not challenging yourself. We need to raise the bar for you now, etc. So um, of course, if nakikita natin parang mayroon na naman tayong ibibigay na tasks. But again, these are helping the students develop or into believing or to perceiving that they can do better, they can be more. And ako, though not all the time, I always say struggle is good. Challenges are good because it can it tests our adversity skill, right? So um, as teachers, we have to normalize that struggles are part of the learning process and emphasize reflection by modeling and guiding student learning through a think aloud. So this is a type of strategy. So we have to make the students understand that challenges are normal along the way. So even though when they are not in school, it can happen sa kanilang own life. So we have to make them understand that because the world is not a utopia, right? So hindi lahat is maganda or okay. So we cannot deny the reality that meron talaga tayong mga struggles. So just like during this pandemic, let us emphasize to the students that the struggle that we are into will make us realize several things, will make us rethink on how we live our life, will make us re-examine how we do things in the past, right? So let us tell the students na if they have struggles in, like for example, accomplishing the assignment, then it means that they are trying to learn, right? So, kasi they won't face struggles if they don't try it, right? So, meaning, if they have the struggle understanding the topic, it means that they are trying to learn the topic. So, it's a good thing. So as teachers then, our part is of course to clarify yung mga topics that cause their struggles. If hindi na talaga nila kaya yung struggles sa topic na yan. So, here, since we struggle, so we exert a lot of effort. So we can give this feedback. But just remember for a moment how challenging this was when you began. Look at how far you have come. So, di ba, it's kind of bibigyan siya ng good feeling to us. So it's exciting to see the difference in your work now, and when I compare it to your earlier work. So meaning you can tell the students na there's really a great difference. You can compare. So from before and after. So by giving this simple feedback, actually you can help the students feel better in a day. You never know. Ako, I experienced this one time when a student, we were conversing, and the student was talking about like, I am not enough. Maybe that's why, etc., etc. So, sinabihan ko yung student na you are more than enough. Okay? To the people who appreciate and who loves you, you are more than enough. So I was very touched sa reply niya kasi sinabi niya, thank you so much, ma'am. I guess that's what I needed to hear today. Diba? So like, this simple feedback na ibinigay natin dito sa video can actually make make a day for a certain student. So let us go the extra mile. Let us monitor, of course, our students. If they want to talk to us, of course, we, as much as possible, we do our best to be there for them. And of course, we have to be very careful sa mga words natin kasi this could actually contribute to what type of mindset they are going into or they are going to be. So let us, kasi para sa akin yung growth mindset talaga, how do we foster the growth mindset to our students is continuous encouragement sa mga bata that they can be better sa kanilang ginagawa. So, when students initially struggle or make mistakes, it is inevitable. Use that as an opportunity to teach them how to try different strategies if the first ones don't work. Invite them to step back and think about what to try next. So, di ba, you are now creating analytical and creative individuals who will be the future of the country. Now, developing the growth mindset in our kids can actually produce great minds in the future. So that would be my last sharing to you today. So these are the further references for further readings that you can think. And ako kasi I am very fond of reading into these several sites. So that's why I wanted to share this idea to you. And of course, thank you and stay safe. By the way, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please evaluate the talk so that you are going to receive your certificate. So that would be all again. So thank you so much and please stay safe, guys. Let us develop my growth mindset.